Good morning and welcome to Tailor Made on emPOWERme.tv. I'm your host, Brian Rodda. This morning we are joined by actress, blogger, and fashion plate, Alexandra Choi. Good morning, Alexandra.
Good morning, Brian. Hi, good morning, everybody. So let's just get right to it, shall we? Let's talk fashion.
Yes, let's talk fashion, shall we? Well, as you know, Halloween was just last week, and Halloween is quickly becoming not just a day-long event, but a week-long extravaganza, which currently has made its way into the Miss Universe pageant. Let's talk about the National Costume Show, which is a precursor to the Miss Universe pageant. First up, we have Miss Netherlands, which I think is pretty fascinating. You know, she's really representing her country there. There are tulips coming up from her feet. And I don't know what exactly is underneath those feet, but we've got some really fun tulips there. And behind her, it looks like there's all those probably looks like those are images of the cityscape in water surrounding her, because I know half of the Netherlands is in water, so they do call them the Netherlands for a reason. Really interesting costume. Next up, we have Miss France. That is an Eiffel Tower on her head, in case you're wondering. Representing my favorite color, Miss Great Britain, she's got a lovely purple, royal purple gown there, which I'm sure would probably even make Prince Harry blush based upon that outfit. The Ice Queen, Miss Russia, she's covered in head to toe, but I think looks really quite elegant here, representing her homeland of Russia. Next up we have Miss Sweden. We'll come back to her in a minute because there's too much to discuss on that photo. And right up we have Miss USA behind her, who looks like she's straight out of a Michael Bay film, if you look at that. She is a transformer, which maybe is a cultural conversation around what's happening in the U.S. Are we transforming as a country? Based upon this image, you would guess that we are transforming all the time. Next up we have Miss Nicaragua, who really is bringing the color with this really lavish and extravagant outfit. One of the outfits from the islands, Miss Trinidad and Tobago, one of my favorite nations, and a lovely girl who unfortunately I think missed the memo, Miss Slovenia, who I think something got lost in translation, I think, when she got the memo on this. Because she looks like she's just going to a cocktail party. So first off, I want to discuss with you, Alexandra. What are your thoughts on these images? Which one is your favorite?
Okay. Oh, my stomach hurts from laughing so hard. Brian, I mean, I have two questions. I don't know if you know, but I did Miss Korea 2002, and when I did the pageant, we pretty much stuck to our traditional garb. So I don't know what it's evolving into now. But also, walking in heels, it's not easy. I don't know how they're able to wear and carry all that weight. Do you think, I wonder if they have any technical malfunction. I don't know.
Well, I have a feeling that half of them are not sitting down, first off.
No.
I don't think they're sitting down in any of these images, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's go back and take a look real quick here at Miss Netherlands. I just really think this is one of, all the images, this one is really cool. She's got these tulips coming from her feet, which, is the national flower of the Netherlands. It's what the country's known for. I think it really is a kind of a nice touch there. And I of all the images, this one is definitely my favorite, or I would say in my top two. Next up, I would want to go to Miss Sweden. I don't really know what quite is happening here. I think she looks like she's working a corner, and I think you know what corner I'm talking about. She's got sort of a traditional garb there, but a sword that she's playing with. I don't know. What does that say about the country of Sweden? What do you think she's representing there, Alexandra?
IKEA is from Sweden, no? IKEA. They're workers. They're workers and builders.
Okay. So what you're getting from her costume is that she's a worker.
Yes, I think of the warrior princess.
Okay.
Xena.
Got that.
Yes.
And let's just Miss USA. I mean, you can't. This is such a unique outfit, I think, for the United States of America. I mean, what she's done here is really unique. I really, when I saw it, when I first saw the image, I had to look and see that it was Miss USA. It wasn't immediately apparent to me. I actually didn't know where this photo was taken, and then I saw it was from the National Costume Contest. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that image accurately depicts the United States of America?
I can't see it too clearly, but she definitely has the red, white, and blue going on, right? I hope. Yes?
Yeah, she does.
Okay, okay, okay.
She's
At least she's representing our colors.
Yes, yes, she
Okay.
is. Yes, she is. And finally, I just want to say that my favorite image, I think, in a toss-up with Miss Netherlands is Miss Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, I've never been to Trinidad and Tobago, but I've met a Trini, as they call them. And I think this is a nice depiction of both of those islands, both the cool blue and the icy blue and the fire hot red. And I do like the feathers. I don't think she's going to have an easy time sitting down, but I think it's a really fun image that represents the island culture very well. All right. Next up, we have the each week Gentleman's Quarterly, otherwise known as GQ, does a top 10 fashion men of the week. I've selected 3 this week that I think really stand out, and we're going to discuss them right now. First up, we have Mr. Oliver Cheshire. He is a male model from Great Britain. Again, we're going international today, and we'll get back to his outfit in a second. Next, we have is Chris Hemsworth, as you know, who is playing Thor right now, and you'll see on the red carpet he's actually in a lovely trio here with his co-stars. One of whom is Natalie Portman, and I actually don't know the name of that other actor. I haven't seen Thor yet. Maybe you can Google that in the meantime, Alexandra, and we'll get that up in a minute. And then the next one is David Beckham, and who I think obviously has some fashion and style support from his wife, who you may remember. She was one of the former Spice Girls. You may formerly remember her as Posh Spice. Clearly, some of that, sartorial work has actually rubbed off on him because he's rocking it. So first off, I want to say I'm not a huge fan of these tight collars. Men that are wearing a button-down shirt without a tie. Like if you look at what Oliver Cheshire is wearing, I'm not feeling that image. Do you see that? He's wearing the jacket. He's got the button down, but why, if you're going to go and you're going to button your upper button, why wouldn't you put a tie with it? Do you have any thoughts on that, Alexandra?
How is the neckline over there? I mean, because I have a shirt similar to that, and Brian, if I remember correctly, you loved my shirt.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
But for a man, you're saying?
Yeah, for a man, I
don't.
just feel it's a little, obviously I'm not wearing a tie today. I think I'm going a little casual, a little fun. But I mean, if I buttoned up the tie, I feel like it really changes the conversation. If I was going to button the top button, why wouldn't you put a tie? For me, it feels like something's missing. So I think either really go full out, button all the way up with the tie, or if you're going to go, tie free, then open up the top button and keep it loose and go for the casual look that you're really going for. Do you have thoughts on that, Alexandra?
Or do you think it's just Oliver? Maybe.
I think this is trending, actually. I think this is a trending thing that's happening right now. I'm seeing a lot of guys out there. It's almost like an 80s thing. It's almost like an 80s thing that's happening. We're seeing the 80s come back in many ways, and I think this is an homage to the 80s. Moving on here, I just want to say I think the best dressed man from Gentleman's Quarterly is, Mr. Hemsworth here. The satin jacket, I'm a huge fan of this. I think he's rocking it out. Clearly, Natalie Portman and their other co-star here figured out, they all got the memo, but he's wearing that nice satin black jacket that really looks polished and tight, but it also has a softness to it that I think really works on the red carpet. He looks crisp, but because it's satin and he's got that nice detailing on the collar, it looks both crisp but also soft. And so I think for him, I want to say kudos to you, Chris Hemsworth. You are the fashion man of the week at the moment. And finally, David Beckham. I don't know what's up with the flower on his lapel there, but he was actually, speaking of the convergence of fashion and style and technology, this is at an event at Facebook where he's at a tech event, and he's obviously pitching his new book, but he's wearing some sort of interesting flower icon there. Which I don't know, maybe that represents something. But do you have any thoughts on this, Alexandra?
I actually like the red. I think I like the little pop of color that it gives. I don't know, is it the actual or is it the color, Brian?
I think it's a style of it. I'm fine with putting a flower on your lapel if that's what you want to go for, but it looks like his 3-year-old son made it in his kindergarten class. He's wearing a really nice expensive suit, and then he puts whoever made that flower thing, it just sort of like downgrades a little bit. It's almost a little too cartoony for me. I'm fine if you want to put a brooch or some sort of accent on the piece, on whatever you're wearing, but for some reason that one just looked like it was made by a 5-year-old. Not that, I mean, if it's symbolic and it is his son made it, then please, I think it's good.
I think we're going to have to agree to disagree on that one.
Okay, great. Excellent, Alexandra. All right, moving up to our final topic of today, we have Instagram. This is a really interesting thing. We did a little bit of research on people who are really hot on Instagram right now, and this is, we have three fashion plates here. We have, Jennifer Grace, and her blog is called The Native Fox, and you can follow her on Instagram there. She has 474,000 followers on her Instagram feed. You've got Danielle Bernstein, who's rocking it out at, what is it? What is her?
We Wore What.
We Wore What, from We Wore What. And then also Olivia Palermo, who's a New York socialite. And all three of these women are building huge followings on Instagram, and I'm kind of, what I think is really interesting here is, what are they getting from that? What are they getting from Instagram? They're posting images of themselves all the time. Do they want to be fashion models? Do they want to, have a point of view? Are they looking for brands to sponsor them? What is the value that they're getting from posting, quote unquote, selfies? And we'll have, I'm sure we're going to have many conversations about selfies throughout the duration of Tailor Made. But, what value are they getting from these images? Do you have thoughts on that, Alexandra?
I do. As an actress, I'm branding myself as well. And I'm just fascinated by these girls because they're just so driven. So I don't know if it's their pure love for it, but they're obviously adding value. They are offering a service, and they do. I mean, somehow they're making money. I know big brands that are contacting them now because, if one girl, let's say she loves a certain brand and she's constantly taking pictures, of her wearing it, the brand eventually contacts her, and then they start working together. And yeah, so I don't know if they want to be models, but somehow something is working, and I just want to get down to the bottom of it for myself.
Well, it's clearly working for them, and my whole question when people are using social media in a way is, what's the story behind it? So, I mean, maybe at some point we'll be able to bring some of these lovely ladies into the show and to have conversations with them about how they started on Instagram and what it's done for them in their careers, or what their end game is if they have an end game. I think for most people who work or who start out in anything, they never really have a long-term vision. Some people are very thought out, but a lot of people who become accidental success stories, it just they started taking one photo, one image, and then the next thing you know, they're posting 2 or 3 images a day of them in fashionable attire, and then it turns into a career. So that's the world we live in right now, and congratulations to both Jennifer Grace, Danielle Bernstein, and Olivia Palermo, who are rocking the Instagram feeds and giving all of us something to consider from a style and fashion point of view. That's all the time we have today for Tailor Made with Brian Rodda. I am your host, Brian Rodda. You can follow the show on @TailorMadeBrian. I want to give a big shout out to our guest today, actress and blogger and fashion plate, Miss Alexandra Choi. Where can people find you in the internet world, Miss Alexandra?
I'd like to think I'm all over the place, Brian. Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Oh, and on my blog, The Diary of the Thriving Actress.
The Diary of the Thriving Actress. Excellent. Well, thank you so much. Follow more of our episodes on emPOWERme.tv. We'll see you here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time with your daily dose and approach to style and fashion as an opportunity.